Let's dive into the world of energy. We are energy. E equals mc squared says that all matter is energy. So where does this come into play in modern life? Well, in daily life, there's something that many people do, which is lifting weights. And why do I bring this up? It's because it's one of the most common uses of energy that is voluntary, that people don't get paid for. And exercise is also one of the best things for mental health, or health in general, cardiovascular health, the health of our organs, our muscles, our brain, etc. kind of all point back to physical activity as being beneficial. And then from the perspective of something like Eastern practices, Eastern philosophy, yoga being one of those things, that there's then the practices of stillness or meditation, or even the yoga postures, which aren't necessarily geared in the same way towards the modern appetite for exercise in some ways. That, of course, we can make our yoga practice really intense like a workout, but that's not really the point. The point of yoga in many ways is to relax. But we wouldn't say that you can just relax in a vacuum, or that exists without some action, right? In order to receive, you have to give first. So that's sort of the idea of creating tension and then release or relaxation. So in yoga, there's a simple idea of tensing and holding, where we do an isometric tense and release of either the whole body all at once, or of just one muscle group. Even you can just flex your index finger like your bicep. And to isolate the different muscle groups so that we could gain control of any singular muscle at will, there are many examples of yogis who can slow their heart rate, or even stop the heart temporarily altogether at will, with no ill health effects, so to speak. That there's a way to train the body to a very deep level of awareness and control of that energy. And this is known as pranayama, or pranayama in the yogic tradition. That pranayama normally refers to breathing exercises when people commonly speak of it, but more broadly it just means energy control. So we could actually say that exercise, at least exercise where we're aware and paying attention, when we have our focus on our form and that kind of thing, and our breathing, that is also a form of pranayama. And so in this philosophy, if you will, of training the body as a muscle of the mind, that, or however you want to say that, the mind is a muscle and the body is the result, that our experience of how we get strong and how we visualize ourselves getting stronger is often like, I want to be fit. And also there's this deeper component, say with yoga, of spirituality or self-reflection, or something deeper about our psychology, or the inner human experience, essentially. So as we tune into these two sort of different layers of our experience, one of being connected to our physique or to our health, and then at the same time being connected to energy and the deeper dimensions within us that energy connects us to, we can start to gain a deeper perspective on what we're doing if we are choosing to exercise, whether running or going to the gym, but also seeing how that can then tie into these deeper contemplative practices like yoga and meditation. So in the 1900s, like early 1900s, there was a whole movement of the strong man, and who could become the strongest man on earth. And there was one man who actually decided to challenge anybody to a weightlifting contest. And he said, I will not lift any weights for 3 months, and then after those 3 months, I will challenge you to a weightlifting contest and I will win. And so this is one of the strongest men on earth. And so he says, basically the bottom line is that he only did isometric muscle contractions without using any weights. So imagine that what bodybuilders do, for example, when they're in a competition of the that kind of flexing, but really to dynamically control each part of the body. That's the reason why bodybuilders do that in the first place. But to be able to recognize that that's not just a method of control, it's also a method of strengthening, and it's actually very nourishing for the cells. And we're not putting excessive strain on our body from the load-bearing weight of weights themselves. So at the same time, there is an incredible amount of evidence to show that lifting weights and even lifting heavier weights can be beneficial as long as we're protecting our spine and using good breathing and form, etc. So now, just to demonstrate, this is a 25-pound weight. And so if we were to imagine, there was once a professor who said, if you hold a cup of water for 5 seconds, if you hold a cup of water out in front of you just for a couple seconds, it's not going to feel very heavy. If you hold it for a minute, it might start to feel heavier. But if you start to hold it longer and longer and longer and longer, eventually after an hour or after a day of holding this cup of water, you're going to feel like that cup of water has gotten very, very, very heavy. And so in the same way, we can treat our own body weight like this. We can use not just our body weight even, but the energy that's in the tension of our muscles to do the same thing that we do when we're lifting weights. So if I'm activating my biceps, my forearms, my chest, etc., getting all nice and toasty doing this, what's the difference then? Doing that versus doing this when we're driving a car, right? And obviously, you know, I'm kind of sweaty, like it's like you're getting a workout when you're lifting weights, but when you're driving a car, you're just kind of sitting there. And I actually don't recommend trying to like tense your muscles while driving a car, but just in the comfort of your own home, recognize the amount of tension that you can generate in a muscle without actually trying to lift it. And then from there, this is where we get back into pranayama and the tensing and releasing, is when we're exercising, we don't want to just build up tension through that pump experience. We actually want to feel as much relaxation resulting from that tension, which generally, in a lot of ways, is the goal. And many people treat exercise, even going to the gym, as a form of therapy, or as, you know, this profound healing experience. And so as we tap into why we're doing that in the first place, why we have, say, a positive routine, then we can also tap into this deeper experience that we're having of why we're doing it and how it filters into the rest of our life that brings us more joy and compassion and especially relaxation. So now, once again, just like with this weight, so I'll tense, and you can practice this too, but just tensing the arms as much as possible, bringing as much power and dynamic energy, squeezing the fists, etc. Bring as much energy into the arms, into the hands and the fists as possible, and then release. You can just let your hands rest on your legs or wherever is comfortable in your lap, and then feel and relax and release. And this is just as important as the tensing. This is why cool downs, this is why taking a shower, maybe jumping in the pool, or even just laying down, of course that kind of yoga cool down stretching thing, or even meditation after working out can be a great complement, because we feel all of the energy that we've released. So we have this concept, this is the concept of energization from Yogananda, which is tense and hold, and then relax and feel. Tense and hold, and then relax and feel. So we've kind of been through the tensing and holding part, now moving into the relaxing and feeling part. As we relax and feel, perhaps we become more aware of energy that's already present. There's this awareness that of the potential to tense and generate all that energy, but then if we just let it be or feel after we've experienced the tensing, we've brought ourselves into this space of, one, bringing more energy into our body by commanding it through the power of our minds, and also then feeling that energy circulate through us without us having to activate our muscles anymore. And this is one of the benefits of meditation in conjunction with physical activity or exercise, that in many ways it's very important to build a strong spine in order to sit up tall. And this is why I say yoga practices were developed in many ways, is to increase the health of the spine and our breathing, and generally, work on that aspect of physical health so that we can move into the realm of mental health, so to speak, and then start to share that with others. And as we release this sort of connection to the body and identification with the body, we return to more of an identification with that stillness and with that river, that current of electricity or energy that's flowing through us. And as we tune into that stillness, as we feel that release of the tension, we can experience that ocean of awareness that is within us at all times, that consciousness of spaciousness, if you will, that there's not this crowding of the needs of the body to say, take care of me, do this, and there's not the needs of our own thoughts or the demands of the outside world crowding in, that there's this expansive openness that we can experience, if even only for a couple moments. But then, once we've experienced it, it remains as a memory, a core memory within us that we can then bring out as a vibration into the world. And it's like carrying this torchlight that you've discovered along your hero's journey, and you're now lighting your path as you walk through the world, lighting others' torches along the way. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching. I wish you the best. Have a wonderful day.